Hey, thanks for stopping by at Twisted Art Designs. Happy to see everybody. Hope you're having fun working on your Julie Nutting altered book project. For those of you who have just found this video, there's a playlist, and this is video number 12. So start at the beginning, work at your own pace, and have fun and join us. There is also a Facebook group, and I'm really enjoying the people who are doing the project and posting what they're doing. We inspire each other when we do that. Everybody's got great ideas and different ways of decorating and different ways of doing the pages. Some are following exactly this, some are doing their own thing. But it's so inspiring to see what everybody's work looks like and then to get ideas for new things for your own books. So join the Facebook group. There's a link in the description box below, and show us your stuff because it's really fun to have a community of people who love these dolls and who are making an altered book to put them in. So the last one was the Sunflower Girls. I did go back and add some 3-dimensional sunflower stickers. I had them in my stash, and they're just so cute, and they added something to the page, so I threw some dimensional stickers on there, which is really cute too. And then of course this is done, and I found my sunflower stencil, which kind of cracks me up, but again, I like the picture in the background. So now it's time to move on to the next layout. I have gone ahead and removed some more pages from what's left of the book, so you can see there's some spaces. I've gone through and removed some pages. I have some ideas for what I want to do at the end of the book, and I just want to see how I'm going to be able to fit it in. So for the next one, what I'm going to need to do, I think I might remove a couple more pages here. I need a little bit of a space. So if you're going to do what I'm doing, then remove some pages so that you've got a nice little gap in here, because the thing is going to be dimensional, and of course the more you do, the more your book starts to gator out. It's not bad. This isn't bad at all. In fact, it stays pretty squared when I pinch and hold it together. Of course, because there's fold out things and thick things, it's going to get thick, and that's just part of the journey. So remove your pages and leave yourself a little gap in here, like maybe between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch. Then the next thing I'm going to need to do is put 3 or 4 pages together to make my set on this side. I've already got this side, so I need a set. Then with the pages that you remove, you're going to want to put 3 pages together as a set and 3 pages together as a set, loose pages, because you're going to use those loose pages for what we're going to do here. For this one, I'm using Marisol again, and I have a fun idea for Marisol. So this is what Marisol looks like. For this layout, I created a really fun digital printout sheet that I'm going to use to make my layout. You don't have to do that. You can decorate yours any way you want to, and just follow my guides for making the flips and things like that. But if you're interested in this, it's in the Etsy shop. There's a link in the description box and a coupon for a little bit off if you want to purchase this to use in your book. So it's got all kinds of things: flowers, a banner, a beehive, and bees, and then an outfit for your Marisol doll. And so now let's get started, and I'll show you how I decorate the Julie Nutting doll. I printed my digital twice. I printed one on a lightweight cardstock and one on plain printer paper, and that's because I'm going to use do some layering with the flowers and things. I'm going to use the beehive twice, and then with the extra kit for making a doll, I'm just going to do a separate one to put in my other bee journal, because I'll put in a link in the description box below for that too, that I did an altered book with just a bee theme, and she'd be adorable in there, so it won't go to waste. I'll make a second little bee. So let's get started. This is going to be super, super fun. So to get started, the first thing I'm going to do, I've got my stamp on my Ranger's Delusion journaling block. That's what I use for a stamp block, and I love it for these dolls. I'm using some Archival ink in coffee, Ranger's Archival ink. I always stamp a base and then build up the base. So I'm going to stamp my base as usual. onto a cream colored cardstock. And you can always go back in and add some shadowing with colored pencils or alcohol markers or whatever you want to use to make her look a little more shadowed. But there's my base. Now I need to cut the pieces out from the kit and start to layer it. And okay, so there I added some color to her with some alcohol markers, and I'm going to cut her out. So what you want to do for this one, when you come up here to the top part of the body, you want to cut around her shoulders and her up her neck, and you're just going to follow that oval that is the shape of her head, but you're cutting her original hairstyle completely off. So what you end up with is the body like that with the round head, because you're going to add a new hairstyle. Okay, so here are the wings, and when you cut them out, when you've printed this onto cardstock and you cut them out, they're cute as is. You can always decorate them with maybe some Spectrum Noir glitter ink, which I will definitely do, or some glitter, or just leave them as is. They're cute as is. But if you want to do a layered effect, here's what I like to do, and I've shown this in a couple of other videos, but I'm going to show it again in case you haven't seen it. You can take your wings and take a piece of vellum. So vellum is paper that you can see through, and place it over your little wings like this, and you can easily see it. And then take a stylus. This is just a little round point stylus, and you want to go and trace over the wings around the edge with your stylus. So you're going around the outside edge, all around the wings. And then where there are the little detailed lines, the black lines, you could go over those as well with your stylus. So you push down a little bit because you want it to kind of emboss and press into your vellum. And you're just making these little wing details, an extra pair of wings, and this is what it looks like. So you can see that, see how it kind of embossed that vellum. Okay, then you can cut these out, this pair of wings out, and lay them over the top and use both sets, and you're going to have an added detail to your wings. So they're going to be a little more transparent and they're going to be layered. So I'm going to do that, and I'll show you what that final result looks like, but I thought you'd like to see that technique. So here's what it looks like. I glued the vellum piece on top of the other piece and then glued them to the back of the paper doll. So you just get a layered effect, and you can see the other wings through it. It's just really pretty. And underneath, I think, is where I'm going to put my glitter ink. And I think that'll just look really pretty. It makes it look like real bee wings. Okay, so here are my little pieces cut out. And if you've been watching me for a while, you'll know that I like to take a brush pen, and when you cut things out like this is printed on white cardstock, you can see that white edge. So I like to take a brush pen and go around the edges, and I'm using a Ecoline yellow ochre. I just think it looks really nice to get rid of those white edges. It looks more finished. So before I put my pieces on, I go around all the edges. Okay, and so if you do decide to into the kit that goes along with this in the Etsy shop, there is also a direction sheet that shows the layering, but I'm going to show you here on video because I just like a visual as well. So let's get started with this. So the first thing you're going to want to do, I use art glitter glue. It is my favorite. I've used every kind of glue you can think of, and I like it best because it sticks the pieces immediately. So I'm going to put the legs in place first. That's going to be the first part of layering. is to put on the stocking legs. And then the second part is going to be to add her little shoes. And the shoes, you could decorate those with glossy accents to make them shiny, or you could use a black Nuvo drops. That would be a great way too to bump up the shoes, and I think I'm going to do that. The shoes have an optional little flower set that can go on here, and you glue them into place, and you have the little flowers on the shoes. Let me zoom in and show you that. They're so cute, but I want to make my shoes glossy first before I glue those on. So I'm going to put glossy accents on, let it dry, then I'm going to add those little flowers. So then next would be her outfit. You're going to add her little dress on top. And just line it up where it goes. And add her little dress. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. So cute. I love it. Zoom back out. Okay, now for her hair. We're going to do the hairstyle, and I only really need to put glue just right here. And you're going to stick it on in place like this. I love that beehive hairstyle, so cute. And then for the bangs, I'm going to shape it a little rounded, and I'm going to use a little piece of a pop-up behind it like this. And I like to take my pen and go around the edge of the pop-up so it's not white behind it. Otherwise you're going to see a white square pop-up. So if you just take your little brush pen and brush around the edges, that takes care of that problem. Peel it off, stick it on, and oh, before I do, I want to put a little tiny drop on the ends here. Just like that. So a little bit of glue here and a little bit of glue here and the pop dot in the middle. And then you're going to put that into place. And she'll have cute curved little bangs. How cute. Oh, she was just coming together so nice. So that's what she looks like layered. I'm going to do her shoes, put some glitter accents on, add her little flowers on, and she is just super cute. So here's what she looks like with her hair layered and her bangs bent for dimension, some Spectrum Noir glitter ink on the vellum and underneath for the wings to make them sparkly. And then I use glossy accents to make her shoes shiny. And now I'm just going to put a little drop of art glitter glue and add those little flower elements to her shoes. So she's got sparkly, shiny shoes with the little flowers on top. So cute. Love it. Hope you love this too. So it took cute Marisol and turned it into a bee girl. I added the honeycomb heart behind her to make her look like she's holding the heart behind her back, and where the honey drips down on the image, I used Jewel Nuvo drops, and this color is orange marmalade, so it kind of looks like honey a little bit. And so I added some Nuvo drops. Let's see if I can get that to focus in. There we go. Dripping, so it looks like honey dripping. So that is a really cute addition, and that adds to the saying too. So here's my little basket with all my images cut out from printing my digital twice, and I'm going to set that aside, bring my book back in. Here I've got my sets. So here, this is a set that's been put together and dried using 3 or 4 pages, and then with the pages that were torn out to make space in the book, I've put together 4 pages each because my pages were kind of thin, so that these become nice little stiff pieces that are going to get used for this layout. So the first thing I want to do is on the 2 pieces that are the honeycombs, I'm going to take the one that I printed onto cardstock. That is going to go on one of these pages like this. So what I want to do first is to just put it down, and I'm going to draw a pencil line and cut that out, because that's going to be a flip on this page. And when you flip it over, and I do show you this really fun background technique, I also want to do it on the back side of this piece so that they match, and I don't want to get this messy. So if I just cut this piece out and have it ready to go as a flip, I can put it aside, do my backgrounds, and then flip it up and then glue this into place here, and then put my my material down here that I'm going to use to create the flip. So that would be the next step, is take your honeycomb and put it down, draw your lines, and cut this piece out that's going to go at the bottom. So here is my piece. There is my piece that's going to become a flip at the bottom here, where the honeycomb is going to go. And I'm going to write on it honeycomb in pencil, so that I be sure that I don't paint the wrong side. This is the side that's going to get paint, so I'm actually going to write the word paint on it. So that is ready to go to paint this background, and now I'm going to show you a fun technique to try. For this background, I'm using 5 different colors of acrylic paint. I got a variety of colors from light to dark. It doesn't matter what brand of paint. I use Apple Barrel. This one's from Blick. This is a Dina Wakley. It doesn't really matter. So it just needs to be acrylic paint. And then you'll need a piece of cling wrap from your kitchen. And what you want to do is to put some dots of paint randomly on the page of each color. Ooh, that's too big of a dot, but that's okay. And variety is really good for this technique, to have a variety of colors. Okay, and hopefully I have enough on there. Then you want to put your plastic wrap over your paint. And you're going to take a brush, and you're going to start to spread out your paints and blend them into each other under the plastic wrap. So you're just brushing on top of the plastic wrap. You just kind of push down and smush and blend. You might not have enough paint, because you've got to make sure that the paints go into each other, but you can do it twice too. I could do this and let it dry, and then I think that's what I'll do, since it didn't cover all the background spots. I'll just let it dry, and then I'll do it again. Okay. So once you get that paint all smushed, you want to lift your plastic wrap straight up. And you get a beautiful, beautiful marbling effect. In fact, I think I'm going to turn it this way. Put it down again. It makes the coolest background. Maybe I think what I might do is maybe some watercolor over the paint. So let's try that when this dries. So there I have it. Look at how pretty that is. That makes a gorgeous, gorgeous marbled background. The paints bleed into each other. The scrunchiness of the plastic wrap makes texture, and then again you can put it back down and make pattern and imprint into it. It really looks good. But you know what? I think I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to come back and do it again. And I also want to use the same colors and do it on the back side. The side that says paint, I'm going to do it on the back side so that these two pieces match. I let my page completely dry, and now I'm coming back in. I've added more paint, and I'm doing it again, and I like to call this technique the shmush, and I'm calling this the double shmush because I'm doing it twice. Doing it twice to see what I can come up with. So let's see what the double shmush looks like. Pretty cool. The double shmush. Cool. Look at that beautiful background. That is so fun. So give that a try, and I'm going to do it on the back side of that tag. Next, you're going to need to do your top piece that flips, because you're going to have to do the same technique with the same paints on the inside of that one as well. So we know that this is going to be here like this, and this is, I want the two to overlap about 1.5 inches to 2 inches. So when I lay this down, it's going to show me how far up I need to go. Actually, I'm going to put it this way. Put it this way, so that's along the edge. And put that on it, and that's going to show me about to here is where I need to make my cut for the top. So I just drew a curve, free-handed. It doesn't matter because it's going to get covered. And I'm going to cut that curve. And now I've created my top piece, and I'm going to do this same technique on both sides of the top piece. So here's my top piece, front and back, my bottom piece, just the one side. Now you just have to look at which side you like better for having the flip up, what you want it to look like on the inside. I think I like that one inside. And now I'm going to attach them, and I've shown this before in a previous video in this series that I like to use material to connect my pages. I went to find material in my room, and all I came up with were these pieces of sari silk, but that's great because sari silk is nice and strong. So what you want to do there is to just put some Mod Podge on the edge. Like this. And I should be doing this on a protector sheet. Okay, so you put your Mod Podge on the edge, then put your material down. And it's great because material is really nice and strong, but it also can take paint and other things on top of it if you want to color it afterwards. I'm going to take my scissors and cut the edges off so it's not in the way. And this is going to go like this. So I'm going to put this in place where it's going to go. And then I'm going to add the Mod Podge to the back side and wrap the material around. And then just wrap it around and smooth it down. And then you've got a really nice flip. of course, then you got to let it dry. And then the same thing down here. I'm going to do that down here. I'm going to put this nice and centered like this. And do the same thing down here. Okay, so this is dry, so I've got a flip that goes this way and a flip that goes this way. And the cardstock bee hive is going to go here. So I'm going to glue that into place. And then on the inside, I'm going to put this one here. It's going to kind of cover it a little bit, and I'm going to use matte gel medium on this one and probably art glitter glue on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and apply those. And then on this is going to have the flowers that come in the digital kit. And if you didn't purchase a digital, you could use magazine images or things like that if you're following along. And I'm going to go ahead and layer these flowers on this image. The ones that are on paper are going to go on the bottom. The ones that are cardstock are going to get layered on top. But before I put them down, I'm going to show you another fun technique for the bees. So I'm going to work on that a little bit and then come back and get ready to show you that next technique. So here's how it's coming out. I'm using the Crafters Workshop matte gel medium and a soft brush to just create my little flower collages. So I'm just layering flowers one on top of each other and putting them down with matte gel medium. I did add some little die cut leaves that I'm going to go back and add detail to later. I added a couple of the flat bees that are not cardstock but paper. And same thing up here, just layer, layer, layer until you get it the way you want it to look. I love it. It's turning out so cute. This may be my new favorite layout. Okay, and then when I flip this up, so now on the inside, this decor is on the inside. The outside is the beehive. When it flips down, it's just flowers and bees. And this one, flowers on the outside, color on the inside. The inside has the beehive. And my Julie Netting girl is going to be right here in front of the beehive. So I can put her down. I'm going to add a few little flowers to the background, but I don't want it to distract from her and the beehive. So it's also going to have bees everywhere. I'm going to show you that next. So I'm going to put her aside. And then up here on the top is where my saying is going to go. So right in the center, I'm going to put my saying right there. And I'm going to do some layering again with flowers. And then on this one, this is where the cardstock flowers and cardstock bees are going to come into play. So let me get these put down and this put down. And then I'm going to show you that the next step for making a really, really fun element that's going to be interactive. Okay, this is turning out so cute. So there's Be Sweet, Pollinate the World with Love. I've got a bee. It's one of the paper bees, not the cardstock bees. And these are all just the paper ones that I'm kind of layering on here. Adding some bees and flowers. And up here, I mean, one of the nice things, when you print it twice, you have extras. So up here, like at the bottom of the banner, I'm going to flip this upside down so it fits in screen better and zero in. Okay, so you've got this second one. You've already got this one down and you've used matte gel medium. What you can do is take some of these petals and cut them apart from the image. Put a little bit of art glitter glue just on the tab in the back and add it, but offset it a little bit and then bend it. So you're going to get a three-dimensional petal on your flower, and it adds more petals to your flower. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to cut one petal off, put on some glue, and then glue it onto the flower, giving it a little bend, and then you've got a three-dimensional flower. So you can do that anywhere with the extras. You can add a pop dot behind them and pop one up right here, so you'd have a cluster with 2 down and 1 popped up, and make them really fun and dimensional. The nice thing about a digital sheet too is once you have that digital sheet, you can print it as many times as you want. So you could print it 3 times, 4 times if you wanted really lots and lots and lots of flowers. It's something that you can use over and over again to use it in your projects in other ways. So I'm popping up that other petal over here and just adding some extra petals to the design. So that's fun. Digitals are a lot of fun because you can really get a lot of use out of them. Cute. Okay, now let's move on to the pop-up bees. Now I went ahead and glued my girl into place so that I don't crowd my background. I wanted to be sure I had her where she's going to go. Look how cute. Is this adorable or what? It's really coming together. Okay, now we're going to make some pop-up bees. So I'm taking the bees that are cardstock, the flowers that are cardstock that I printed onto cardstock. I'm taking some 24 gauge gold wire. It could be any color wire, but you want the wire to be 24 gauge because if it's too thin of a wire, the bees are just going to smash down and they're not going to pop up. So you need some wire cutters, a skinny handled paintbrush, a paper piercer, some tape, and your art glitter glue. So this is pretty easy. You just want to cut a little piece of wire. I cut it a couple inch, 2 inches long maybe. And you're going to wrap the wire around the paintbrush handle like this. I keep the ends kind of straight, but I wrap it like this so you get a little spring. A little spring. And then you're going to take a flower and your paper piercer and you're going to pierce through and put the straight end through your flower like that, and then it sticks out the back side. On the back side I put a dot of glue right on the wire, and then I put a piece of Scotch tape over that. It's just like a double duty, and the glue will eventually dry. It'll really hold it nicely into place. And the tape anchors it. So you've got glue and tape, and now you've got a little spring. And then you do, on the bee side, you don't need to poke a hole. You've got your flat edge here, and you're going to just put that glue and taped to the back side of your bee, and you're going to have a pop-up bee. So now look what you've got. You've got your bee and your flower and your little spring. And now you can glue this onto the page somewhere where you think it might look cute. And before I put any more decor on my page, what I also need to do is add my clasps to my flips. So let's do that next. I'm choosing to use these. I had these little metal tabs that have a hanging thing on them and a hole for a brad, and I chose some colorful brads. But you can use whatever you want. You could put an eyelet with ribbon, you could just poke a hole, you could do whatever you want to add your clasps. I just really like those, and I had them in my stash. So what I want to do is close this up, and I want to find where I want that bottom one to be. And I don't want it to be underneath, I want it to be on top. So I'm going to put it about there. So I'm going to poke my hole for my brad and put my brad through the tab and then put it through to the other side. So here's what that looks like on the front. And it does show on this side, and I can just cut out another flower center and put that over that to hide it on the inside. So I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to add the tab. Just kind of figure out where you want it to be, like right there, and that'll show you where to poke the hole. So now I've got my 2 tabs, and that's where I'm going to tie a ribbon through that for my closures. When I flip this up, you can barely see that. You don't have to cover it, or you can, but what you can do now is cover that with one of your pop-up bees if you want. So that's why you want to do those first, so you can add your pop-up bee and cover those little brad tabs. But now I just need to figure out where I want to put some pop-up bees inside. They can be like this, layering the flowers like that, wherever you want to put the pop-up bees. So you go ahead and make as many pop-up bees as you want and add those to the page too. So I've added my pop-up bees. There's one up here, there's one right here, there's one down here, and I've added some more flat bees, some more flowers. Some I put off the edge, and as soon as they dry, I'm going to trim them. And now I'd like to come back in and do some pen work and some doodling and add shadows with charcoal. Like for these flowers down here, those funky blue flowers, they need a stem. So I put them in a place where I could just come in here and add a cute curly stem to them. Like that. But I like charcoal. This is a General's charcoal pencil, and I made a little scrubber brush by cutting off an old paintbrush tip. And then I like to come in and add shadows. So to make this beehive pop, I'm going to go around that background with some charcoal. And then I like to use my scrubber brush to blend that out, make it soft edge, but see how that makes that pop right off the page. So I'm going to do some shadows and some paint pen and some doodle dots and things and finish this up. I think this has become my new favorite layout in the book. I thought that my sunflower layout was my favorite, but I think this one is truly my favorite. And then this page is going to be on the next video, so ignore that and just enjoy this page we've created. That one's going to go along with this one. Okay, so here it is, my finished page. I love it so much. It's so cute. I just put this here to hide that because it kind of throws you off. So I tied a piece of sari silk to each one of the tabs for the closure. I've added flowers and a bee to the front. And let's see, what did I do here? I just added some dots and did some more color and made it kind of pop. Okay, and so you untie it and flip it open. Let me zoom out. And here's the full length layout. So we've got Be Sweet, Pollinate the World with Love. I added little feelers to each one of the bees. Our Spectrum Noir glitter ink to all the bees' wings, so the bees' wings are all sparkly. I added some brown flock. Glue. I used glue with a paintbrush and added brown flock to her outfit. So now her body is actually fuzzy. And then I did my charcoal around to make things pop off the page. Made the little bee trails coming out of the beehive and going behind flowers. Added some dimension. I popped up the center here to cover the back of that brad, and it made the flower dimensional. I popped up a daisy here to make that dimensional. And there it is. So this is the Be Sweet page. I'm showing this to inspire everybody to do flip up pages and to do a page maybe with even a different doll and making her into a bee, or if you're interested, you can purchase the digital sheet that has the outfit for the Marisol doll and then all the other elements used on this page. So I hope this gave you some fun ideas of things to do in your Julie Nutting book, like making the little bees on springs, the little pop-up bees on springs, using flock to make things fuzzy. The little heart goes with the saying for pollinate the world with love. She's got her honeycomb heart that she's holding on to behind her with honey dripping from it. Just a lot of fun ideas, popping up and layering flowers. A really fun way to do a background. And I hope it just gave you some more ideas for things to do in your Julie Nutting paper doll altered book. So thanks for stopping by. Go make art, because art soothes the heart.